Well, the meeting to order. First, for 2024, thank you for everyone attending. And for the next 12 weeks, we'll be putting together a very comprehensive and budget that's both fair to the taxpayers and gets the services done that we need. Before we start, Mayor Pete has a few words to say.
All right, so everyone on the planet wants zero-based budgeting, and Naugatuck, Connecticut is one of the only places in the United States of America where you get it. So, too bad there's no newspaper or coverage or public here, but the bottom line is that this is a public meeting. We make our budget from scratch every year, and I think we do it the right way. You don't make the mayor's budget or the borough board budget. The finance board listens to everyone, makes a budget, and then presents it to the mayor and burgesses, and we adopt it. So, in my judgment, we do it the right way. I don't think we get credit for it, but we do it. And I think what we'll do this year is pretty much what we did last year, which is we're going to go through every budget. If something really sticks out and we want to cut it out, I guess we can do that. But a lot of things are going to fall into a gray area of things that we'd really like to do, but we're not going to know whether or not we can afford to do all of them until we get closer to the end. So, like last year, we did not cut out anything that we liked, but even if we weren't sure if we could afford it. And we'll do the same thing this year. We're gonna go through it. We'll mark them, and then when we get to the end, we'll go back and look and make our final decisions. So, are there any questions on that? All right. So, Ken, who goes first?
Okay, well, just to start, Allison couldn't make it tonight. She had a little incident with her vehicle this afternoon, but she's fine. So she won't be here now. Diane said she could not make it tonight. But we're going to, by request, we're going to do the.
Sure. I got one thing to report.
Sure.
Emily asked to notify everyone that if you want, your binders are back there, but last year's information is bound separately underneath. So if you want to grab your last year's numbers to compare it, feel free to grab them. She said she'll leave them up there for a few weeks, and then she'll eventually shred whatever's left over.
Okay, good. Thanks.
But that's all.
Good, thanks. Okay, we're going to do Veterans Council first.
Chairman, thank you very much. Appreciate you allowing me to go first so I can go through the Veterans Council meeting. There is no changes requested to the council budget. The council budget is basically broken up to a few different areas. Roughly $14,000 for the Memorial Day Parade, $5,000 for cemetery flags, $5,000 for miscellaneous flags and grave markers and things like that. And then added last year was a $12,000 line item for a stipend for a position that we're still hoping to create. So that's why none of that money has been spent just yet. And that is for the Naugatuck Municipal Veterans Representative, which is a requirement of the state that we have that position. But we are trying to pool that together with some of the duties of the council chairman and service officer and Soldier Sailor Marine Fund rep and really have something to offer the veterans in town as far as services. So we're still in the process of trying to make that happen. So I'm hoping that you guys will leave that in for another round and try to get that done next year.
So, John, I like what you said, because I thought we put it in last year as well. But what we've been handed makes it look like we're increasing the budget and adding it in this year for the first time. So that's
yeah, that was added last year by the board. So that money currently exists. We're just not spending it.
What Allison handed out shows the 12,000 increase, but that shouldn't be the case because we put it in last year.
It's not an increase that's an existing.
Excuse me, Mayor, I don't think that when we added it last year that we actually put it in Veterans Council. I think it was put into one of the other things.
Yeah, so I guess it's my job to tell Allison what we're doing tonight, so I want to make sure we get it right. So it's either somewhere else, but it should have, this shouldn't be an increase, it should be a continuation of what we've done.
Overall budget, is an increase to this line item.
Well, it might be an increase to this budget, but it should be a decrease somewhere else, right?
So we'll have to find what that 12,000 was for last year.
And that was a new, version, or new mandate last year.
And then, John, if you're not gonna be the agent, is the Veterans Council gonna appoint one?
So when last year's council year started, when the budget year started, we tried to find a local veteran that would be willing to step up and do that. We were unable to entice someone to take that position at the time. I reached out to HR for some help and John never responded to me. So we're gonna try to hit the reset button and start over this year and try to find. I'm still doing the basics that I've always done as far as the parade planning and the council work, and serving as the municipal veterans representative. But the additional work that we're hoping to see that person do, is not something I have time to do. So we're still gonna try to get a body on to take that on with additional duties that the council is hoping this person can take on.
And we're gonna run the parade like we've always run it?
Yes, sir. Invitations have been out.
All right,
I have one question for you. I remember last year in some of the ceremonies, the rifles, the ceremonial rifles. Are they gonna be these replacements?
No, the actual, the ones that we're using now are the replacements.
These are the replacements.
But we replaced a model of 1917, that the Army had loaned us. We actually purchased our own, M1 Garands. The board was nice enough to fund that for us. But those are still World War II vintage rifles. So those are the new ones.
They need a lot of maintenance.
They need a lot of maintenance.
You have enough.
I will too.
For that maintenance. That all done through volunteers.
That's all done through. Basically, yeah.
Okay, any other questions for John? Okay, thanks, John.
All right, thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Fellow presenters for letting me go first.
You're welcome. Okay, next is building.
So, we'll get right down to it. For the most part, we kept our budget the same, if not a little bit less. Our longevity dropped because Donna, she retired. We don't have another person besides myself who falls into that category. We were able to discount our code books because we just about purchased everything we needed for the new round. And we just had a few other items left to bring into the fold. Currently, we are seeking to add a construction inspector. And my mechanical inspector has been flown out and filled his assistant building inspector's job. As of tonight, we are just shy of 1,900 permits issued for our Central Lifers. We just, we're $660,000 in revenue. And currently in the plan review phase, I have another $125,000 in revenue this year.
how much were you up over last year, estimated?
I think we're already over by 150,000.
Right.
And based on the development that we see going on, the justification is definitely there. Any questions?
I'm gonna make I'm gonna augment your presentation with your permission. So, yeah, we are gonna have some, increased expenditures for some additional firepower. But in addition to the revenue being up 150,000, we're also gonna restructure the fee rate for construction, which is
We're trying
too
to get
low.
our square footage a little bit more in line with New Haven County.
Right.
Currently, New Haven County is $130 a square foot for a single family home construction cost. We're at 80. So
So,
our true value of construction isn't there. And massaging it to maybe 90 covers and offsets a little bit more less than higher.
So said another way, massaging it upward is gonna result in the plus 75, which contrasted with the minus 25, we're still gonna be plus 50 or more in your department,
Covers the salary.
but it more than covers it. So I'm just gonna say, I'm gonna support it because of the new revenues and the increase in construction. And it's still, I think your department is net, I'm gonna say, almost $200,000 on the plus side after the new expenses compared to prior years.
You know, we can very easily get $1 million.
You know, what's coming down the pipe is, there's a lot of big stuff
Quite
coming up.
frankly, our inspection times are, we're 4 or 5 days out. And it's, when you're on a timeframe, everything's about dollars and cents. We need to do better, but we're just not. You know, they're paying for a service that I really wanna do better at providing. You know, we can't drop everything and go out there, but 5 days, something's getting to be a bit much.
So Bill, let me ask you this question. We'll have to have this discussion in more detail, but let's say 2 years from today, and things are on course, really booming in the new industrial park, the, downtown development, Rubber Avenue, and whatever else is going on in the town. Are you gonna need even more firefighters?
Potentially, but what I'm doing is I contacted a local architect slash building official to do some contract peer review for us, which would take time away from what I need to be in the office so I can get into the field. The good part about that is we can put that towards the permit. So we would be able to expedite the review process. We're sending 2 over to him Thursday that just came in, because it just makes it faster. And the cost of these projects going in, really, when you're talking about a project that's $400,000 or $500,000, $1,000 plan review. So, not too bad. And some of them go quick, with all the documents there, he doesn't need to spend the time.
It gets them in the ground faster.
Much.
Okay, good.
Other questions?
Any other questions? No. Okay, thanks, Bill.
Have a good evening.
You too, Bill.
See ya.
Economic development, Ron?
Well,
What's that? Well, I was going by my list here.
Town clerk is next.
Oh, I'm sorry, I missed one. Town clerk, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to let you, Michelle.
There's no news on my budget,
Okay,
no changes, everything's the same,
the wages are up, right?
wages are up.
that was contractual, right? Yeah.
Contractual. And everything else is the same.
Same.
Any questions for Michelle? No? That's, we're 2 departments are making money for us. It's great.
Making money.
That's good. But yeah, wait till we see at the gym. He really breaks the money for us.
So, I didn't look at it, Michelle, but what about conveyance taxes this year compared to last year?
I didn't run that number,
Should be down a little bit, right?
no, actually, it's not.
Well, how are you counting the year?
Well, if I do July to July, I didn't do July, I did January through December, and the taxes were up. Conveyance taxes were up, recordings were up, vital statistics, vitals are up, because we now have a new program in the state of Connecticut where every single death that happens in the state of Connecticut, you can get a death certificate for $20 in every town. So all our local funeral homes are using me. Even though they have a death in Hartford, they can come to me and get the burial permit, cremation permit, and 5 certified copies of a death certificate. So that is gonna be an increase, a very good increase. I
So,
mean, we
so
see it,
Michelle, so Northwick Funeral Home is dealing with the death of someone in Hartford, but they can run the vital records through here.
Yeah. all 3 of them,
That's new, something new?
yes. about a year and a half.
Do we lose any to the other towns?
No.
Cause we're better, right?
Because we're better.
Alright.
We're better. And they love us.
With early voting, is there gonna be any increased costs that you need?
No, everything's, in the, registrar's department. I don't spend any money on election except for absentees, but they pay.
Any other questions for Michelle? Okay, thank you.
You know,
Now economic development.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rob.
Appreciate it. I'll be pretty quick. We're not asking any increase.
Mhm.
We do the same amount since 2018, which is 92,000.
That way, I don't think there's a copy of it in our budget packages.
No, I was just gonna say, it's not here. And so it's your request is the same as last year.
Same, yeah. So,
You give a highlight of some of the projects that are that.
yeah, I'll get to that.
Yeah, okay.
in a second.
I don't have to
Yeah,
update
okay.
it, though.
I was waiting for you. No,
No, you don't.
now go to. So we also have the private sector that we do, and we do that starting on January 1st. So this year so far already we have $10,850. That really helps us a lot. The projects that you were asking about, we're working on, and hopefully, like the Kind Care Assisted that we were talking about, they were going to go a little later into the spring, but now they've been really, as we were talking before, and they're gonna get it in pretty quick, so very happy about that, and they're doing very, very well. The other things I just wanted to say, major projects, of course, is parcel B. I talk, and I know the mayor does too, but we talk a lot with Hershey, not Hershey, with Penrose. And we're working with them, and I get part of, I don't get any money out of it, but we're part of their, so we're about 5% NEDC. So we don't have to pay anything, they don't have to. The other thing we're talking about the industrial park, not the new one that's coming. This one is, and you probably heard me say this 100 times. It's the best industrial project in the state of Connecticut, and it's really good. And we're going to get 2 more companies coming in. One is already there, Stately Stairs out of Waterbury, and the other one is it's 259 Great Hill Road, and they came from Litchfield, and they're fixing the building. Needed a lot of building, still working. So I'm happy they're going to be there in a while. 22 is the name of that company, and they're really good people.
What do they do?
They're doing like shades that goes in their people's houses and stuff like that. Yeah. Now the building was very hard for them because they needed to go and keep going working on it. And I don't know if anybody else had heard this before, but they called one time and said they had tires there. I think you knew about that. And so we finally fixed it all. And the public people came down. And I always, Jeremy.
For those that don't know, someone dumped a lot of tires
lot.
on their property.
A
What did
lot,
it cost them to
yeah.
get $8,000 to get rid of?
They did 8,000, they had to pay $8,000 for the first group.
Mhm.
Then I said, we can't do that, so I asked Public Works guys, and they came right up, and since then, nothing has happened.
Plus, we had the kid get arrested for dumping them.
Yeah.
So,
I
but
don't
it's probably
know
the
if
same
that
one.
was the same
Yeah, probably.
kid though. It's the same thing.
Same
you know.
thing, yeah.
He was up on Prospect. Yeah. I think that's all, unless you have any questions. Yeah.
That's no, who was in there originally on the Great Hill, where 22 is going?
It's been gone for a while there. I don't remember.
Okay,
the
just
name.
curious.
Yeah,
That was the
it's-
recycling, that building?
Yeah,
Oh,
With the gazebo outside?
Oh, okay, I know which one.
yeah,
I know
yeah.
which one.
But when he left that, I don't want to say anything bad about him, but left the building really bad.
Yeah.
And these guys from Litchfield.
Good.
So
We're making
now we have
progress.
a couple of properties, that are wide open. Showed one of them with, who's sitting in this room. I don't want to say who it is, but that guy over there. Very nice guy. We had a really good conversation about it. And you might take a look at it.
Good.
So we're doing very well.
Yeah.
We're doing very well.
Good. Well, thank you, Ron. Any questions for Ron on NEDC? No? Okay,
Okay.
we're good, thank you.
Well, you gave your numbers to Allison. right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we just didn't get a copy of the printout.
Okay.
Yeah. I think, when Emily was here, she said, did she give it to you? I never got it.
But we'll get a copy out to everybody.
Yeah.
It's 95,000, no change. Okay.
Anything else?
That's it, Ron, we're good.
Okay,
Good.
Okay.
thank you.
Okay, social services? Anyone here for social services?
Youth services,
I'm on my,
jump right past it.
no, it's social services, then youth
Yeah.
services.
Which we doing?
Jim's doing youth services? Okay,
I'm not. Sarah.
Hi, Sarah.
hi, Sarah. Welcome back.
And Gina, yes.
Hi, Gina.
Sarah was here last year, right?
No, no, I'm new with them last year.
Okay.
Gina.
Oh, you were here last year.
I was here.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, it's all yours.
So, we have, 3 line items in the budget this year, so we have, a repeat of last year's, YSB match, which is one of our line items for $25,906. That's a direct match of the state designation for us as a state designated youth service bureau. It needs to be exactly the same number, so, even if I wanted to request an increase, I could not.
Okay.
The $3,000 are for the maintenance of the building that we utilize that is owned by the borough. And then we did add an additional line item this year for our community-based diversion program. So I added a few notes on the paper that Jim just passed out to everyone. So we saw our funding decrease about $40,000 over the last year to keep kids from entering the justice system. So by pulling low-level like incidents out of the justice system, saving some money there, and basically preventing them from getting into further trouble. So we added a $20,000 request in there for to hopefully make up some of those funds to make sure we can still provide complete supportive services to the kids who get referred.
Is that juvenile review board? Yes, okay.
Yes. Oh, no, certainly, please, yeah, I'm so sorry. Yes, it's now been renamed the Youth Diversion Team, to kind of change, we don't only take court-related cases, we also take, school referrals, school engagement issues, and some other stuff, so, but yes, we now review board.
Okay, good.
So how much less did the state give you?
$39,750 less this year than last.
And was that expected or
We expected a slight decrease, just based on their
that,
funding.
that was in last year's budget or?
From last year to this
Sure.
year, we saw that increase, yes. So we saw a 23% increase into last year, year over year that, so we saw an increase in last year's budget. This year we were expecting a decrease, because of funding changes at the state level. But we are seeing, right now we're on track to see an increase again in cases for this year. So we've seen 68 so far, this year, about 6 months into the program. And we have 20,000.
Well, that happened statewide
Yes, yeah. So we weren't
and
anticipating.
Jim Goggin couldn't fix that for you up in Hartford?
He's trying, he's working on it, yes.
How's your building?
It's,
I know it's old, but, yeah.
It's a dump is what it is.
We're making a real commitment to the building this year.
Mhm.
The one thing, they're putting out a new front door right now. We're getting electrical outlets that are two-pronged up to, Free Flow.
That's a good move.
Yeah, so there's things we're doing right now.
Okay.
We're gonna hire some of our youths that are in our program that's paid by the state. And our goal is to, power wash as much as we can, paint as much as we can, and just get it so that it looks, like a sharp building. I've always been kind of the only municipal building without a flagpole up front.
Mhm.
Get a flagpole up front, well, not a,
Like real well.
Yeah, it's like all. We have, we have a flag.
But as far as major, heating plant, roof, that's all fine?
a brand new roof.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. We
It
should have
actually,
featured
it
that.
actually was leaking around the chimney. but we got it
So,
fixed.
so's my new roof too, but that's another story.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Mine are the-
And most of your funding comes from the state.
You're gonna put a permit there in Hudson?
If we do something that is about building like the electrical, no, we'll apply, I mean, we don't pay a fee. You know, but we'll apply.
We do everything, yeah, town, we have to do everything by the book, so we have to set the example. Any other questions for youth services?
We have, the money we're getting from the opioid settlement,
Yeah, so,
is this something like a project that we could redirect the funds? We were very
well,
much-
we're doing that, that's not part of their budget.
Right,
But we are doing that. We had a great meeting last week, and we're creating a new position, for what are we calling it?
The recovery support outreach person.
Right, so when someone has an overdose, they're saved by Narcan, there's an immediate intervention to help them and guide them through a myriad of issues. And that will be done, in part through youth services. And, we've gotten, I'm gonna say, I don't know, we have probably 150,000 that we've already received. We have more settlements coming, we have more money coming in, and we're starting off spending, 30,000 a year on a recovery coach just to get started. And it'll be run essentially by our police, social workers working with youth services. And we're gonna supplement the social workers with and take the opioid cases away from the social workers and give them to the new person. Now, that doesn't mean there won't be more changes going forward, but we're gonna start there and see where we go.
Yes, that money. has specific
And it-
requirements.
There's
I was
also,
wondering if the diversion would be one of the, since it is an intervention
Yeah.
program,
Yeah.
it has to be 100% opioid.
and we're gonna get marijuana money too.
That's the next thing, we'll have to
Yeah.
think about when,
But we need marijuana.
seven-
Yeah, no, we don't.
Is that what you were saying there? Oh.
We need that one.
You need cultivation centers to grow. This one,
Did we have one?
no, not legal.
No comment. So. Okay, any other questions for youth services? Okay, thank you.
Thank you all very much.
Good.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, next is, Harvey, you're up.
I've been up for 19 years here and
Yes.
I'm happy to be
We're
back.
glad to have you back, Harvey.
Thank you very much. I enjoy my job and I enjoy seeing so many people taking advantage of the services at the Naugatuck Senior Center, including youth services. So it's more than just a senior center. It's really a hub of information for the help that people need regarding their elderly parents or young people who have to do community service. So our doors are always open. The budget that I submit to you, once again, is similar to the one from 2023, almost identical. And I'm proud of the fact that I'm able to stretch the budget to make a lot of things happen.
Very good. Well, you take people for community service.
What is it?
You take-
Oh, yes,
So we get requests for that on occasion, and I'll
Send them down
I'll send
here.
them over to you. Thank you.
young people, older people.
Yeah, mostly high school kids that we get.
Do you know what works with our high school students who come in very tough? Knitting. It calms people down. I work with a lot of the social workers. And from youth services, we just had last Friday, from the Salem School, a group of young people come in. They had lunch with our seniors, they played bingo, They, got some health and wellness information, but with young people who have infractions, we work with, the judiciary, I'm going to say truant officers who are having a hard time placing someone who needs maybe 200 hours. And they'll say, Harvey, we know that sometimes it doesn't work, sometimes it's too tough. But maybe after over 35 years, I know what that young person might need, and sometimes it's just a hot breakfast. But I've learned that working with our older adults, things like a simple learning how to knit your own scarf and hat has a calming effect. And when these young people are with me for maybe a month or two, they're involved, they're in a different nurturing environment where they're washing their face and hands and cutting their hair and wanting to help. And the interesting thing is, they'll often say, when we bring our friends here, do I have to leave? So
Interesting.
working with youth services, and I support them, and other, I'm gonna say adults who need to do community service. It's more than a senior center. It's really just a center to help everyone in the community. And the budget is, as I said, identical.
Yep.
I'm very proud that I can
No,
say.
you're doing great work out there, so.
And it's always nice to have our Burgesses and the mayor come, and I invite you all. Sir.
And I did mention, or you said, we mentioned at the Burgess meeting that the three Burgesses and we were very impressed with.
Yes, I appreciate that, Mayor.
I did mention that, and our Burgesses are getting very tired of me saying, there is not a single person I know that is better suited to be the director of the senior center than you.
Thank you, Mayor. I guess I've
No, he's
become,
the mayor.
I'm sorry, Mayor. I'm very proud to say that I've become the grandfather of senior center directors in the state of Connecticut. And I'm getting ready almost for 40 years.
Harvey, your
Gerontology.
patience levels are commendable.
Once in elementary
Do you
school.
knit? Do you knit?
I've tried, but the phone rings and off I go. So, but we'll be glad to make you a new scarf too.
I'll wear it.
Garnet and gray though, okay? Has to be garnet and gray.
Oh, yes, we've done a lot of garnet and gray.
Good.
Thank you,
Okay,
Finance Board. Any
Any
questions?
questions, for Harvey?
Every time I hear people that need to donate walkers and canes, I say, call the senior center.
Oh, yes, and whatever comes in goes right out. Wheelchairs, canes, diapers. Not joking.
No, I don't believe it. No.
Thank you, Finance
Yeah,
Board.
thank you, Harvey.
Come
Thank
visit
you.
us anytime.
Good night.
Thank you.
Okay, Regis Council, we did HRD, don't hear from HRD. You, no, Allison sometimes presents these municipal audit,
Well, are we doing HRD? They're not here,
they're
right?
not here, no?
So, Allison was gonna present this, so, I'll go over it with her. I don't know, it's plus 12 grand, I have no idea why, so we'll,
We can do it next week.
yeah,
Just
let's save
table
it till next week.
Yep. The same with, well, Jesse Camille's
No, Jesse Camille's is the same every year.
500, that's, for repairs. Good.
We're,
You want to talk about contingency?
yeah,
I know it's your favorite subject.
it's
One of
not
your
my
favorite,
favorite, so, well, I mean,
Well, what-
contingency.
what you've done with it is pretty good.
Oh, I'm proud to say that in my 9th year, I've never spent 5 cents on contingency, going for the record. I don't know why she raised it 200. Now, don't forget, we don't have to budget 1,200,000 because we already have it set aside in a reserve account. So our budget, we don't even have to reflect it. So that's a major plus. Now, I'm just looking at it, and Allison is increasing it 200. I mean, I would say, in my mind, we could increase it by 100 or keep it the same. but
Is there a percentage that the contingency needs to be?
yeah, you're supposed to, I suppose in a perfect world, we would be at, well, 1.5 or 6.
You know, 1.5%.
I mean, I don't. I'm saying today, I would go plus 100 rather than 200, but guess we can look at it at the end.
How did she come up with 200?
I have no, I think
think-
she's trying to
I think last year
quickly
it started
get to
that
the
way.
higher number.
Just wait till next month, let
Yeah.
her explain.
Yeah,
Next
that's-
week, let her
I think
explain.
that's good.
Well, I would say it's not her decision. So, I'll be happy to listen, but I don't know.
Change it.
I'm gonna say, I like plus 100, and then we can review it at the end, and if she wants to argue for 200, we'll let her argue.
Okay.
You sure have to.
What?
You sure have to.
To start?
Everyone go with that for now?
Good? Are we
Yep.
good with that?
Keep it 100. We don't have to do a formal vote, just.
Yeah.
Okay. And, next.
Municipal audit, he went plus 5 grand, I guess that's okay. I don't know why, but we'll,
Yeah, that's our contract price, isn't it? Okay, that is
does
all.
anyone have a problem with municipal audit?
The other one, we could just,
Yeah. We'll just table it till next week.
Social services for table as well?
Yes.
So, so who can, tell us what everything from, so isn't this like a group of entities that come to us annually for money?
I'm not sure.
I don't understand wage for part-time social service coordinator on page 2. The front page makes it seem like we already have it, because there's no 21/7 item in there, but I have no idea who our part-time social service coordinator is. Does anyone here know?
No idea.
They
Wait,
would be
isn't-
part of the PD. wouldn't
Yeah,
they?
isn't that part of the PD?
Is that second, social worker we had in, maybe? 'Cause we bumped one to full-time and then.
I would have thought that was in
It
the
would be
police
their
budget.
police budget, I would think, yeah.
So,
But did the town pay for part of it?
well, if we put it in our budget, we pay for it. I don't know.
Wait, didn't we have to pick up half for something the school budget didn't add in?
That sounds right.
Yeah, because that was like last minute, the Board of Ed pulled out.
It was after
That social
something
worker.
happened. Added like an SRO or something like
Yes.
that.
And then we footed the bill for the other.
Let's carry it over.
Yeah, the SROs are different.
I don't
than
know.
this.
I know it's
Yeah.
different, but I think it was something.
It sounds
moved from
familiar.
somewhere else.
Yeah, last minute, and then we just picked it up.
Yeah, and maybe. I remember
Oh,
that.
we need more information on it.
Yeah, we do.
Any other questions or comments on tonight?
Adjourned.
Next week is public safety with the exception of police department. There'll be fire department, east side, emergency management, fire, police, safety patrol. And then, we carry over from this week. Okay, motion to adjourn. At
You got it.
7:09, motion adjourned. Okay.